So some big news revolving around the coaching staff for LSU that of course happened this past weekend. Blake Baker decides to not take the head coaching job, has decided to come back and be the defensive coordinator yet again for the LSU Tigers. Of course, we'll talk about the contract extension, talk more about that, but also some other big news as well for this coaching staff as well, with Lane Kiffin, of course, making big moves a little bit with the coaching staff and all that. That's, of course, what we'll be talking about in today's video. Of course, as always, welcome everybody to the BrewCrew channel. Of course, if you guys are new to this channel, I do football content like this with LSU and Saints, and also some wrestling content as well. So if you guys enjoy sort of content like that, this is definitely a perfect and good channel for y'all. And before we get into the video, if you guys haven't, or again, if you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell for future upcoming videos here on the channel. If you guys end up enjoying this video, or enjoy the videos that I do, if you're back, of course, and you've been watching my videos, hit that like button, definitely would appreciate it. Now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into talking about of course, the news that happened this past weekend, of course, with Blake Baker. But first, I actually want to talk about something that also happened yesterday with good news. I found this on an article by Athlon Sports, mostly saying that the LSU hires an SEC admin coaching carousel. With all that, another major piece on the coaching staff, which is a new offensive line coach. It was actually a tweet as of yesterday, a tweet from Brett McMurphy on X, tweeted out, former Kentucky offensive line coach Eric Wolford hired as LSU's offensive line O-line coach, source told at On3 Sports. Wolford has been on SEC staffs for the last 9 years at South Carolina, Alabama, and of course latest as Kentucky. Huge get for Lane Kiffin. This is definitely a huge get because, of course, you know, we struggled mightily in the offensive line, the offensive line stage this past year, of course, because we lost some key players with Jones and Campbell, who moved on to the NFL. There was a little bit of brightness, but injuries with the line, and just not really a great season for the line. It was one of the key things of why this team did not perform the way that we thought they would, especially this offense. And so hopefully, with an experienced offensive line coach like Coach Wolford, who has been on an SEC staff for for 3 other teams, Kentucky last year, Alabama, and then of course also South Carolina. Big get for Lane Kiffin and this coaching staff, with a major piece that could potentially, hopefully, help bolster up this offensive line with a new coach at it. So that's definitely going to be good. He also, actually, I'm looking at this, he did actually have a stint in the NFL with the San Francisco 49ers. So he's had a stint, or I believe 2, I don't know, with of course the San Francisco 49ers. Of course, he was the former offensive line coach. He's been an offensive line coach most of his career. Only the one stint, though, in the NFL. That was back in 2016 as an assistant offensive line coach. But he has been a offensive line coach for many years. So with him being a long time offensive line coach, definitely big experience, and hopefully can definitely help out this offensive line. We know, of course, Kentucky did not have a great year, but he was on Alabama the previous year before he went to Kentucky. Now, of course, he's here with LSU. Now he'll be here with LSU for next season. So again, big major piece for this coaching staff, and hopefully can definitely help out, bolster up this offensive line again. It's definitely big for our offensive line that didn't really perform well this year, and hopefully this next year this offensive line gets a little bit better. But we now move on to the big thing really for this video, and that, of course, is this past weekend Blake Baker decided and agreed to stay with the Tigers with Lane Kiffin, which is definitely big news, all in all. If you guys remember the last sort of video I did, I think it was when I was talking about Lane Kiffin and all that, I did mention something about Blake Baker. In the middle of that video, because I was in the middle of editing it, I found out that Blake Baker was being eyed by Tulane as the next head coach. Tulane actually, I believe I believe Blake Baker's alma mater. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that was true or not. Let me actually make sure. I feel like I saw it. I'm pretty sure his alma mater was his Tulane. Yes, he actually was a player at Tulane from 2000 to 2004. So yes, so his alma mater was of course Tulane. So it would have been big for him. I definitely would not have been truly upset of him going to be a head coach, especially at his alma mater. But of course, I guess it came down to really just this coaching situation, and he stays as our defensive coordinator, which is great. The defense was solid this year. Definitely one of the best in the, not, I don't want to say one of the best in the country. We definitely had our flaws that we still need to potentially work on, but we got the job done when we could. We were definitely one of the best defenses in the conference. We still have amazing players. I don't know if we're going to have Harold Perkins come back next year, because I can't remember his situation, but I know we're probably going to have Whit Weeks back. Hold on, give me just 1 second. My dog is whining at the door because my mom just left, so give me just 1 second. Hey, so I'm back. So sorry about that. Had to kind of deal with my dog, kind of show him that I'm here and all that. But my mom just left, and he was whining at the door that she left. So anyway, so I can't actually remember what I was saying, but again, it was definitely big for him to be back as our defense coordinator. Our defense was definitely one of the best in the conference. Of course, not really one of the best in the nation. Definitely still needs some stuff to work on. Potentially could have a few players come back. That's what I was saying. I was saying we potentially could have Whit Weeks coming back, so that is definitely pretty big for this defense and for this team overall. And of course, Lamar Brown. That was another thing that happened this weekend that also probably could talk about. Lamar Brown, I believe, officially signing. Of course, the number one player in the state, I believe the number one recruit overall. So it's a big signing, especially with Lane Kiffin and all that, and especially for this defense. So very excited for next season. I'm very excited to see how the rest of this off season goes, especially after the bowl game. Quick note for that: the bowl game was also announced this past weekend. We will be facing Houston in the Texas Bowl. That will probably be another video that I'll probably talk about in another video that I'll do probably at some point later this week. That will revolve around the bowl games and also the college football playoff as well. But that will be a future video later for this week. But continuing on with this, it was actually also yesterday that he agreed with a contract. He ended up agreeing to a 3-year, $9.3 million deal that will make him the highest paid assistant coach in the country next season, according to sources told to the Advocate. This is I'm reading this off of Review. I don't know how to say it. I'm so sorry. I'll probably leave a link if you guys want to say it, but if you guys want to check it out yourself, I might leave a link to this or whatever. He has signed a 3-year contract. $9.3 million. His salary will start next season with $3 million. It will work up to $3.2 million until 2028. Into 2028, of course, again, he kind of shut down I don't want to say shut down, but of course, there was the nervousness going into the weekend, thinking that we might not have Blake Baker back. Then we're going to have to look at another defensive coordinator, because he would potentially look at going to the Tulane head coaching job. But he has decided to stay. So that is definitely really good. This other little thing actually says the news comes after multiple sources reported that Baker was in line to take the head coaching job at Tulane, Also, I did see that he did interview, I believe did interview, but was also being looked at by Memphis. So those two teams looking at him to be the next head coach for their teams, that was definitely kind of concerning going into this weekend of thinking like, are we going to see him be the next head coach somewhere else, or is he going to come back to be a defensive coordinator? But then it says, however, LSU head coach Lane Kiffin confirmed late Friday night in a Twitter post stating that it took a lot of time and good conversation with Baker to convince him to remain with the Tigers. So thanks to Lane Kiffin with Lane Kiffin talking to Blake Baker and convincing him to come back was definitely big news in himself. This one last thing, of course, says Baker's presence in the program will be a huge factor for LSU's defense heading into next season. And with his new contract, he can earn a $300,000 raise and a fourth-year option with a $3.5 million salary if LSU finishes in the top 20 in scoring defense within the next 3 years. Of course, that could probably happen because, of course, this past season was really good for this defense. Even though, yes, it is 15th, it's still the top 20. They were 15th in scoring defense by only allowing 18.3 points per game. Now, yes, we're ranked 15th, but only allowing 18.3 points per game, that is honestly not bad. If you, of course, look at the games that we really allowed the most points, I believe I want to say the only games I can think of that I can remember, I know my memory for some reasons now not being so great with the games this past season, was, I believe, the most points we gave 21 points, 24 points against Ole Miss. Vanderbilt, we gave up 31. Texas A&M is the only game, I think, the whole season that we gave up 40-plus points. Because also remember, the Alabama game, even though, yes, our offense scored only 9 points, we only allowed 20 points. Only allowed 20 points against Alabama, who are playing in the college football playoff right now. So definitely deserve to be a top 20 defense in allowing points. It's just, of course, the fans are going to go back to the Texas A&M game and be like, well, Texas A&M had a really good offense, okay, and we couldn't stop it, and also our offense just played like hot garbage that game. So that's a game that probably a lot of fans don't want to look back at and probably want to erase from their memory. I want to say probably this whole season, a lot of fans probably want to erase from their memory, and most of the only thing they want to remember is that this was the season we hired Lane Kiffin. So, the season we hired Lane Kiffin and the season that we fired Brian Kelly. And maybe we'll remember some stuff from our defense, but offensively, there's not going to be a lot to look back at after this season. I want to say with that, I want to say real quick, I am going to do some sort of like season recap at the end of this season, mostly after the bowl game. I wanted to maybe do one after the Oklahoma game, like after we were actually done with the regular season, but I decided not to do it and just wanted to wait until after the bowl game, which is actually later on this month, so probably will still be able to do it, but I'll see what I can do whenever we get to that point. So yeah, with all that out of the way, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. Kind of an okay length for this video, in my opinion, especially with how long some of these videos I do. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of us keeping Blake Baker coming back, and of course the addition of our new offensive line coach. If you guys feel definitely helps the team with this addition, and also us keeping Blake Baker as well. So again, let me know in the comments down below what you guys' thoughts. I'll probably leave the link in the description below to this article that I was reading off of with Blake Baker. It's kind of a short article, but if you guys want to check it out yourselves, I'll probably leave a link in the description below if you guys want to go check it out. And so yeah, so again, of course, LSU's bowl game, I'll probably talk about it more in another video that I'll probably have out this week. Like I said before earlier in the video, I'll go over not only that bowl game, but also other bowl games and also the college football playoff. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. Hope you have those notifications on so you guys can look forward to it. That probably, of course, again, will be some point later on this week that I'll get that out. or we'll get that done. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Like I said before, I know I said that earlier, but this is where I'm officially gonna end it off. Again, let me know y'all's thoughts in the comments down below. Go check out this article and everything else as well. If you made it this far in the video, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, as always, hit that like button and also hit the subscribe button and the notification bell for future upcoming videos here on the BrewCrew channel. And with all that out of the way, and that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.